received his word and were baptized. And that same day there were added about 3,000 souls. And they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine, in fellowship, in the breaking of bread, and in prayers. Then fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done through the apostles in Jerusalem. Now all who believed were together. They had all things in common. They sold their possessions and goods and divided it among all as everyone had need. And continually daily with one accord in the temple and breaking bread from house to house, they ate their food with gladness and simplicity of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to the church daily those who were being saved. Brothers and sisters, this is what we are, and this is what we are called to. And the parish council that was just elected and installed this past month has taken this mandate from the scriptures, and it's our job to figure out how we, as St. John Mission in Arizona, can fulfill that calling that we have from the Lord. And so there's been a lot that's happened in this last year. I went to my old records last night, and I found an old, roster or church membership list from 2009. In 2009, we had 21 pledging families. By 2013, 11 of those families had moved, and 3 of those families had left the mission for one reason or another. In 2015, we have 20 pledging families and about 4 or 5 families that are regularly attending but aren't pledged yet. And so we've been dancing with this flow in and out of the mission for the since its inception, actually. But what we've been given this past year, actually this past few months, is a gift from the Archdiocese. And the gift from the Archdiocese was given to 2 missions in the entire United States, and ours was chosen as one of them. And that's a stipend to help us support Father so he can work full-time for us for 3 years. And during that 3 years, our mandate is to grow, to be able to support him full-time at the end of that time. And so basically we've been given a great gift, but with that great gift, we've been given a great responsibility. The way that impacts us immediately, and this is the thing that the Parish Council is working to address right now, is that our lease in this space is up in July. July 31st, we have to go somewhere or sign a new lease for this space. Now, that's okay, but the problem is, for us to be able to support Father full-time in 3 years, we need to have 35 to 40 pledging families. That's kind of the benchmark across the board with mission parishes that have established and grown and gotten to a point where they can afford both a building and a full-time priest. The problem that we have here with 20 pledging families is if everybody shows up on one Sunday, we are packed to the walls. So we don't have the option in July of staying in this space. So what that's going to mean is we're going to have to figure out a way between now and July to work with what we have, but in July look at moving to someplace larger. Another year or 2 years in this space is not going to give us the space to grow in. We have how many pregnant families now? Who knows? But we're adding 3,000 just in babies. We have 2 small classrooms. We have a lot of teenagers coming up. We need classroom space. Father needs an office space. And so, we're pretty much landlocked here. So what this is going to mean for everybody here and for those who aren't attending is it's going to require us to do a lot of thinking outside of the box. is going to require us to lay aside some of the ways that we've done things before and think of new ways to do some things. One of the things you've noticed, we've moved all the furniture up closer to the altar because we've been trying to get people to move closer and it hasn't happened, so we just kind of moved everything closer, and it's kind of happening. So we're trying to create a little bit more of a visitor-friendly space here, because when people walk in and we're back there and everybody's crowded to the walls and we've got this huge expanse of no man's land in the center, and visitors have to navigate through a half a dozen people who are bottlenecked right next to the choir, that doesn't give us a lot of visitor-friendly atmosphere. So there's a lot of things that we're going to be bringing to the congregation, things we're going to have to think about. We're going to have to be more aware as members of this parish about how our actions, where we stand, what we do, how we greet people impacts how people perceive us and what happens when they come in here as a first-time visitors. So all of those things are things that the council is working on. We're going to be sending out a survey shortly to every member of the parish to see what's important to us as a group of people. We have a lot of programs that we could do, but it's going to require people to do them. And if people can't do them, they may be a great idea, but it's, unless we have people that are willing to participate, it's just not going to happen. It may require people to make some decisions between kinds of things that they want to do. We have people who are involved in choir, youth, potluck, and all of this. Sometimes folks may have to make a decision about dropping one thing and adding something else for the sake of the greater good. The biggest impact on us is going to be money. And if any of you have been around here from the beginning, you know that this mission is not about the money. But the fact of the matter is it takes money for us to be here. And so the immediate impact of us expanding our space is it's going to take about another $2,000 a month for us to expand into a space that's going to give us the kind of space that we need to grow into. That translates to about $20 a week per existing family. And so what our family has done, and what I would encourage you to do, is we have set up a Lenten instead of jar. And so whatever you've given up for Lent, or whatever you can find it in your heart to give up for Lent, take what you would have spent on that and put it in the jar. And at the end of Lent, we'll all bring our instead of jars here, and it will go toward our future, basically. One of the things that Peggy and I have done, and you guys know me, I'm a dog guy. And we found this awesome dog, and we talked about it, and we just said, if we can think about having a dog that's going to cost us about $80 a month, that means we can afford $80 a month. And so instead of getting a dog, $20 a week in dog food is going to go into the instead of jar. So, those are the kinds of things that we're going to have to think about. We're going to have to really individually reset some priorities for ourselves, again, for the greater good and for the sake of the future of the mission here. So we have a great gift and a great responsibility, and we have 3 years to fulfill that responsibility. And the parish council is working extremely hard right now to figure out how we can make this work and how we can, as a group, make this happen without doing something stupid. Be wise, but we have to be bold. And so we encourage you. I know most of you don't know who the council is. Some of us are here this morning. And with the parish council folks, Anna, Brent, Rebecca, Linda, and myself, if you guys have any ideas, you have anything, nothing is too dumb to consider. So if you have any ideas, you have any criticisms, you have anything that you think would work here, bring it to your council. Email Father, and it's all going on the table. Like I say, everything is up for consideration right now. So we are here to serve you, and we want to see this happen, and we want to keep Father as our full-time priest. And so this is what we have to do to make that happen.
You just want to give a quick summary of sort of what we're doing with the
Oh, yeah.
landlord?
Okay. An opportunity has come up. The solar tube business up in the front of the building here is downsizing. And so we've been talking with the landlord about taking over some of their space, and he's come back with an offer, and we're gonna come back at him with a counter offer. But what that would mean is we could move all of our fellowship area. There's 5 classrooms up there and an office, and an area that's about twice as big as our current fellowship area. And what we'll do with this space is everything disappears and this entire space becomes sanctuary. So we will essentially over double our sanctuary space here, which would give us exactly enough space to fit 40 families. And so one of the the challenges is we don't want to move again. We have moved 8 times in 10 years, and as Bishop Benjamin said, this visit, it'll be the first time he's visited us in the same place twice since we've been in existence. And so the last thing we want to do is pack up and move again somewhere. But if the landlord doesn't work with us, there's a building a quarter mile down the street on the other side of University that has cheaper space, but we're exploring that also with that owner. They've got 12,000 square feet. We need to see if they'll subdivide it. So we're working on all of this. Father's looked at land, he's looked at buildings, we've looked for churches. And so, like I say, everything is on the table and everything's being explored. And we will definitely keep everybody updated and posted on any decisions that are going to be made. So, thank you, Father.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you. So that's really a summary. So